Hello, welcome to, what is this thing called? Pathos Metamorphose. It's been a while since I've done this, and I guess you could maybe call it a long summer hiatus, but just wanted to touch base, and won't take too much of your time if you're interested in hearing what I have to say. I'd like to dedicate this show to a few things or people. Frederick Buechner, he passed away fairly recently. He wrote many books and a very influential thinker. I got this one from the library recently called Listening to Your Life. It takes excerpts from several of his books. And here's a quote from Frederick Buechner's book, Now and Then. Listen to your life, and obviously references the title. Listen to your life. See it for the fathomless mystery that it is, in the boredom and pain of it, no less than in the excitement and gladness. Touch, taste, smell your way to the holy and hidden heart of it, because in the last analysis, all moments are key moments, and life itself is grace. He has a way with words and characters, and I've got a lot of reading to do of his books, a lot of books that I haven't read by him, and I've only kind of just scratched the surface. So I look forward to discovering many more of his books, both fiction and nonfiction. Many know of his book, Godric. That's one I haven't delved into yet, so that's one that I need to read, along with many others. I also want to dedicate this show to those struggling with various addictions, particularly drug addictions. I won't mention him by name, but a friend of mine is right now undergoing rehabilitation. And if you're the praying kind, you can say a prayer for him. If I get his permission, maybe I'll share maybe at least his first name. I don't think there's any harm in that. But good guy who open book, and then just I really enjoyed getting to know him, and just hope the best for him in his journey to recovery. Also want to continue prayers for my friend Bryce Johnson. He will be celebrating a cancerversary. It's I think the first cancerversary for him on December 2nd, 2022, because I believe he found out his diagnosis on December 2nd, 2021. And just stand with you, Bryce, and Nichelle, his wife and caregiver. Just appreciate you and with you on the struggle. And also want to mention the shows. I'm dedicating this to a lot because I don't do too many of these, and I'm gonna do them once in a while or when I can, and maybe monthly, maybe not. So I'm just gonna throw the ones that I think of. I want to mention Robbinsdale Women's Center. It's a place where my mom volunteers her time, and really the important work that is done there. And again, my mom volunteers there, and I'll post a link in the notes in this once I post this episode. I'll post a link there as well. So I had a birthday recently. I guess I can say how old I am. You can see I'm wearing my glasses, which I do sometimes, so when I'm reading I can see it. I noticed that that's something that I've had to do recently, buy some reading glasses from the store. A couple bucks, so it didn't set me back too much. Another thing I've noticed recently is I had a random gray eyebrow hair that I needed to have plucked out, and thankfully my wife helped me with that today and plucked that out. That was just kind of just a weird, annoying thing, but hey, it happens. I had recently had the opportunity to visit New Jersey, and I was able to see my older boys, which was great, and spend some time with friends. And friends Dean and Tammy graciously hosted me, and so appreciative of them. And Dean was able to buy to find some tickets for the Patti Smith concert while we were there, and I'd never seen her or her band, and that was just phenomenal. We were in the fourth row, center seat, had great seats, obviously, at the Beacon Theater in New Jersey. And on my birthday, I found this at the store. It's her debut album called Horses. If you don't know who Patti Smith is, well, you should check it out. You could say that she was like sort of I guess she's been called the poet laureate of the punk movement, but her music and her poetry and transcends that. And just wanted to mention, I mean, it's, she wrote Because the Night with Bruce Springsteen in '78. I think that was for her second or maybe her third album called Easter, album which I bought actually while I was out in New Jersey. That's all great stuff, and Because the Night is covered by people like Natalie Merchant, has a really cool version of it. Who did Bob Dylan send to accept his Nobel Prize for Literature? Well, it was Patti Smith, and so that's pretty cool. And when my wife and I went to the U2 concert, Songs of Innocence, they walked on to the song "People Have the Power" by Patti Smith. It's not a song I was real familiar with, and only recently really discovered it. But U2 has since played that song, I think, with Patti Smith in concert, and also without Patti Smith. But it's been very influential to U2, obviously. Yeah, and all that's great, but again, I only recently discovered the power of that song myself, and seeing Patti Smith in concert was pretty cool. She and her band closed with that song, and I'll close the episode also with the video I took of that performance that night. The song "People Have the Power" describes an eschatological vision. And eschatology, the word means basically the study of end things, the closing chapter of history. And the biblical closing chapter of history, according to you could say the Judeo-Christian eschatological, that's not an easy word to say, eschatological vision is where heaven and earth meet. And that's what we have to look forward to as Christians. We talk about heaven, and we do have the hope of heaven, but the ultimate hope is one day when heaven and earth meet, and the earth is made new, and we can now work toward that, and allow God's rule, which is it's kind of the already but not yet vision. We as followers of Christ, if we believe in that, vision, we already have forgiveness of sin, and the powers and principalities have been defeated. But at the consummation of the age, the eschaton, as they say, the end state will be a new earth. Heaven and earth will meet. So anyway, the song "People Have the Power," if you listen to the words, it describes that vision. It describes very biblically that vision about the leopard and the lamb being truly bound. And part of that vision is for me that we, the people, indeed do have the power as God's imagers, as the song says, to lead, to rule, to wrestle the earth from fools. I don't look at that as a political statement, or not merely one, anyways. It's really our privilege to be a redeeming influence in the world, and that's obviously tomorrow there's an opportunity to vote, but that's not the be all end all, of everything. As believers, hopefully, we want to be salt and light and make a difference in our world. And we don't have to stoop to the level of denigrating other people, God's imagers, as it were. We can show by our actions and by our words that we love our fellow human beings, that we love our neighbors, and this is the kind of thing that I've tried to convey on the few episodes that I've recorded, to get away from the view that people are less than. Doesn't matter where you're coming from, what class or what anything, we are people, and as people we have the power to make a difference, and to be, as somebody famous has said, be the change we want to see in the world, and be the change that we will want to see when the new earth, when God makes all things new, and basically heaven and earth meet that day, as we as followers of Christ believe that Jesus returns, and that's going to be a great day, and I look forward to that day. And in the meantime, we have the power to make a difference. I'm just kind of talking off the cuff here. One other thing I'd like to mention is I do some Uber Eats driving on the side. Yesterday, Sunday, after the Vikings victory and after I visited my friend who's in rehab, I turned on Uber Eats, and the first trip I got was to Cup Foods in Minneapolis, and it was a very emotional experience for me, to go there and know what happened there, and to see the shrine for George Floyd, and just to know that a human life was snuffed out there, and that's it was a heavy thing, but and his life was no less, and no greater than anyone else's life who has been snuffed out, whether it be police officer or we mourn these losses, but this one really hit home for me, I think, because I felt like I was at a real holy place. It's hard to put into words, but it was pretty heavy, and knowing that that's sort of a ground zero sort of place, or at least it's seen as such, and we've got a long way to go, and that's certainly a reminder of that as well, in terms of how we make sure everyone is treated as God's image bearers, and that we treat each other with love and equality, and that again nobody is looked down on as less than, and again I've been reminded of that over and over again in my life, and sometimes I've been the recipient of that, or I felt like I've needed to learn that hard lesson myself, through experiences that I've encountered. But all that is character building, and that's good stuff. Thankful for the Vikings, that they're doing well, and I think their coach, Kevin O'Connell, the O apostrophe connection there, I'll just put that out there, but not that has anything to do with anything, but yeah, I think he's doing very well in the role there, and the whole front office there, and the whole mentality of the team, and just they're really they have a winning approach, a winsome approach, and a winning approach, to life and to football, and I think that's great. It's great to see. It's not old school, and I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with that, but it's an approach that values people, and so I guess I'll tie that in there. And I'm just sort of rambling here, so I'm going to end it here, and thank you for tuning in to another episode of Pathos Metamorphose. Thank you.
Well, I spent sisters, brothers. Let us love one another.